My neighborhood growing up wasn't the nicest. Everyone who lived there was there because they couldn't afford anywhere else, not because they wanted to live there. A lot of the houses were extremely small and old, and even the businesses in the town had trouble staying open for more than a year or two. When I was young, it was pretty common for us to go to these houses and businesses that had been abandoned and just mess around in them. The police had to have known this was going on, since every kid in town was doing it, but they didn't do anything about it. Anyway, when I was really young, my elementary school shut down, and the building was never repurposed. So when I was older and exploring these rundown places, I was intrigued to see what the school looked like now. On a Saturday night, my buddy Ryan and I went to the school. We didn't have cars, so we had to walk about 4 miles from his house to get there. This building, even before it was abandoned, I always found a little bit creepy. It was on the edge of town, buried in the woods with a chain link fence around it. It just really did not seem like a place for an elementary school. We climbed over and went to the side of the building to see if there was a window to get in from. Lucky for us, almost every window had already been smashed open. I jumped in first, followed by Ryan. The first thing we did was just stand there and listen to hear if anyone else was inside. There was this very loud, hollow creaking noise the building was making, but it sounded like we were alone. We walked down the hallway, peeking into some of the rooms. It was a very strange feeling to be back at the school after so many years and see it in such horrible condition. We passed maybe 3 rooms, walking slowly and quietly, before a sudden thud echoed throughout the entire building. We stopped and looked at each other, but no more sounds came. Ryan said it was probably just a building settling in on its own weight, and we continued down the hallway. A lot of the rooms were either empty or just had a bunch of chairs lined up in them, but nothing really interesting. That was until we got to the next hallway, deeper into the school. This hallway had chairs scattered throughout, blocking the way through. We had to push them aside just to get to the rooms. The first room was locked, so we went down to the second room on the left side and looked in, seeing what looked like clothes hanging from the ceiling. I walked in and looked at it, unsure why or how those got there. After a moment, I wondered why Ryan hadn't said anything and if he was seeing what I saw. I turned around, and as my head moved across the room, I caught a glimpse of a figure in the far back. I shut my eyes to the far wall, seeing the disheveled man staring at us as he stood with something in his hand. To make it all worse, he had almost no clothing on. I quickly glanced at Ryan, who had his eyes fixed on the man as well, before he grabbed my arm and pulled me back into the hallway. Immediately, we heard something metal being thrown across the room toward the door we were at, followed by a horrific scream. We sprinted down the hallway and out the first open window we saw, then ran as far away as we could before losing our breath. On the rest of the walk home, we put the pieces together and realized the man was likely holding a knife, which was probably what he tried throwing at us. Considering his unstable state, it's likely the man was really dangerous, and had we stayed any longer, or not noticed him, we might have not made it out.